Please let us know if you can hear us. Bring ourselves back into the stream. Okay, can you all hear us now?
Yes, I can.
You can hear us, right? Great, great, great. Amazing. So sorry, I think there was a glitch in terms of the technology. We were just talking to ourselves the whole time. So without further ado,
do you want to rewind?
Okay, I'll do that briefly. So I did say today we are going to be talking about what a man wants in a woman, and it will be it's kind of a conversation that we would want to have together. Okay, so I started off by introducing myself because we are aware that some people join in on our channel for the first time and they don't know us. So it would be great to introduce ourselves. So my name is Amara.
And my name is Gospel.
Yes, so that's my lovely husband, Gospel. And together we co-host on Relationship Builders Forum. And this is a forum where we just discuss everything about love, about sex, about relationship. We're very intentional. We believe in being intentional in your relationship and making sure that you're putting your best foot forward as much as you can in your relationship. Like marriage is beautiful. Marriage can be enjoyed. And we are champions of that, right? We are champions. And I started off by saying that, oh, sorry, we've been away for a while. And that's because, lots of things happened. Nothing to worry about, but it was just a case of I came down with something, he came down with something, and then everyone had something in the house. But right now we're fine and we're back. We're back. Yes. So let's dive into the conversation. A lot of times when we hear about this whole conversation around what a man wants in a woman, and the vision or what people perceive is that sense of a very beautiful woman, a woman that's just jumped out of the magazine. She's very stunning, an hourglass woman, and all those kind of visualizations that people kind of put up. But the question here is, and it will be really, really important to sort of tease this out. And today I'm going to be quizzing my husband, so he's going to be on a hot seat.
I'm already on a hot seat.
To really delve into this whole idea about, what do men want, from women? Because sometimes it's very confusing for women to ascertain what you really want in a relationship. So I'll start with that question.
Yeah, I think any man listening to me at this moment can actually tell you that before you go into looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with, there's something you're looking for. And sometimes it's difficult to articulate in paper what you want, but in your head, you know that there is something you want. And the person you decide to settle down with, or the person you make that step to be committed to, has not 100%, but some of those things that you want in a woman. Even within marriage, there is definitely something I want from my wife. And let's look at it from inception, before you talk about settling down and being married to this person. One of the things a man wants is love and attraction.
Okay.
It could sound like a given that obviously before you think of getting married to someone, before you as a man, you want a woman that will love you. Is a given. But that aspect of that key feature has not been on the forefront for many years now. If you ask any older person, what should you advise a person to look out for in marriage? Say, oh, look for someone who has good character.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing character, but why is it that sometimes you see women with impeccable character struggling to find someone to get married to them? Because men are not just looking for good character. Good character is good, but they are looking for a woman they can sit with, and the woman is able to pull out some things in them. When they sit with this woman, they're laughing, they are happy, they are themselves. They want a woman that when let's say you're a very calm, you don't want to talk, but you want someone you can have that, intimate conversation with, and that has to do with someone you love. Someone that loves you, someone you're attracted to.
Yes, let me stop you there, because there is a lot of lot of expectations that you have from the woman. So you want someone that you love, you want someone that you're attracted to, you want someone that will pull out whatever it is you're talking about, like to pull out, make you the best. So I think, there is all of these sort of expectation.
It's not an unrealistic expectation.
Well, it depends. It depends on who is speaking about this. It depends, because if you ask them, what are these things that you want the woman to be able to pull out from you? Some of those things sometimes could come across as unrealistic, because you need to be able to break that down. So when you say to a woman, "Oh, I want you to be able to pull out something. I want you to be able to make me the best."
You're making emphasis on the pull out phrase that I use.
The reason is because it is really important to be very clear. To be very clear, because it could be confusing to somebody to say, "Oh, you're giving all of these expectations, but I don't even understand what those expectations are."
Okay, let me break it down. If I use myself, I want a woman that I can be happy to die for, because love means being willing to die for someone, to sacrifice whatever you have or whoever you are because of this person. I want someone I am willing to go the extra mile for. And for that person to take that position as someone I am willing to die for, there's something about that person that makes me want to make such decision or that commitment. This is why you see a man and you're looking at the red signs. You're seeing that this guy is going into a wrong relationship, because you could see that it's not going to work. I'm not saying love in this context of how we define love, as everyone defines love, is the right way of defining love. But I am saying to you, generally, this is how men think. They're looking at the red signs, but they ignore the red signs because they feel this woman loves me and I love this woman. Whatever they call that love is up to them. And can you hear me while we're trying to sort out the camera? Can you hear me, please? Apologies everyone for this, but if you can't hear me, just give me a buzz. I know you can hear me. Yes. So while she's sorting that out, I was saying that obviously there is something in a woman that a man is looking for, whether it is tangible or intangible, is up to the man to, articulate whatever he's looking for. And from your point of view, maybe, can you just let me know if you can reflect or you echo the same ideas, especially for the guys in the house? Maybe if you can just let me know if what I'm saying resonates with you as well. So just let me know what you think about it in terms of your views. All right, I think we should be back now.
Yep.
Okay, so technology failed us there.
I'm so sorry. These things happen. I hope you guys can still hear us.
Yes, they can.
Apologies. I don't know what's really happening today. But the device that we're using keeps cutting off.
Okay.
I will just kind of highlight some of the comments on the chat so you can catch your breath.
I'm ready to go for
I know you're ready to go, but so you can catch your breath for a bit. So Foundation for Family Affairs did say this was going to be interesting, and please would really want you guys to engage in this conversation, because it's not, like I said before, it's a conversation. So it's not us just talking at you or talking to you. Would really want to know what your views are as well. And one of the things that he highlighted was around something you said about being willing to die for the woman. So being willing to die for her, which did come through. Okay, so I'll just check to see if there are any other comments. Okay, yes, they can hear us. Apologies, guys. Apologies, please. This was not intended at all. Okay, so it's great to have this conversation, but one of the things I wanted to highlight is the fact that, sometimes when you talk about love is colored by people's perception of it. And sometimes when you say, or when a young man is saying, I can only be committed to a woman, or what I really want in a woman is a woman that I love and a woman who would love me in return. A lot of times that in itself could be a problem, because if you look at what's their perspective on love, what do they understand love to be? And they might have their own views, sometimes colored by culture, sometimes colored by the varied institutions that we have embedded ourselves in all through our life's journey and our growing up. And sometimes that in itself could be a problem. So really important to be able to define for yourself what you really understand love to be, before you begin to lay such expectations from somebody else. So if you define love like you being willing to die and all of that, or maybe somebody else being willing to die for you, are you willing to die for that person? Okay, so it's all of that. So being sacrificial, giving up everything you have to make yourself as inconveniencing yourself sometimes, just to make sure that you make whoever your spouse is or whoever you're in a relationship with to be that comfortable. So maybe something to point out around that too.
Let me also emphasize on the part of attraction, because obviously you will expect that men, we just have to go for someone whose behavior we are comfortable with. But men most times are attracted to someone who is appealing to them. The first point of attraction is what they see. Before they will start striking a conversation, they need to see, this woman is beautiful. Whatever the person defines beauty to be. As long as that attraction is there, it may not be physical, because when we say attraction, we're not necessarily saying physical attraction.
It's part of it.
It's part of it, but not majorly the core of attraction in this instance. You're looking at what is it that connects you with this person. It could be the person's level of intelligence or articulation or personality.
let me
all together.
it's yeah, I understand where you're saying. You're trying to. I don't want you to de-emphasize the physical. Yeah, I
It's
don't
part
want
of
you.
it.
Yeah, I don't want you to de-emphasize it because a lot of women put a lot of effort in how they look before marriage, right? And then they get into marriage and they don't pay attention to the little details. So it is really important because it's one thing for you to get someone to fall in love with you because of your looks, but it's another thing for you to make sure that it is sustainable.
It's consistent.
Yeah, in the relationship. Okay. So the little things that you do being, they are the barest minimum, being clean, being tidy, your hair, your dressing, your makeup, really, really important because look, that is the first thing they see. They see the package, they see the outer. Before they go into the whole character.
I actually like the way you're giving that description.
Yeah.
Because this is what men really want. That consistency in how you look.
Yeah.
You always come up to wow your man. That yes, he has lived with you for many years, but when you show up, there's something about you that triggers him. That is what men want. And when they don't have that level of attraction, you're not appealing to them. A lot of factors could lead to that, not just the physical look. When the woman is no longer appealing to them, they don't feel like running home to stay with her, then something is missing. And that leads to the next point, if you want me to.
Yeah, before you get to the next point, I just want to ask if maybe our audience have got something to add to some of the things that we are talking about, or maybe their own points of view. Please feel free to put it on the chat. It would be really, really important to get to know what your perspective or your views in terms of the conversation. Now, there was something you said that I find really, really critical and profound, is around the fact that men really want a woman who would stimulate them in terms of mentally, right? That was something you mentioned. And it is really, really important that, we as women should understand that, life is in phases, right? So when you met your husband, say, for example, you met him 10 years ago. So the person that you met 10 years ago and the person that you're in a relationship 10 years after, there is a significant move in terms of what their focus is, what their drive is, where they are in their journey, in their process. And it is really, really important that we are very intentional to notice those things and upgrade or upskill ourselves to the point where this man can still be able to confide in us consistently as we go along. And I think that this is something that in a lot of relationships is really, really missing, in the sense that, women just, we keep looking at our husband as the man we met when we met him. And in our vision, in our view about him, doesn't really kind of evolve, right? It is really important that we are evolving. We're looking at, wow, this man, okay, when I met him, maybe he was a hustler, or I don't know where is the state of life where he was at the time, and now he's pivoted, he's groomed, he's gotten into career. The space is kind of very different. The people that he's engaging with very different. So how are you presenting yourself as someone who can bring value to him further down the line? And I think this is really, really important. Something that our Foundation for Family Affairs has put up is just echoing what you said earlier around men like good looks. Really, really important. And he also said, because I know he's the man typing now,
are you sure?
I think so. We like, because he said we, so that he's a man. So he's saying, we like emphasis on mental stimulation. It is important to keep growing to avoid, mental incompatibility. Amazing. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, really, very, really very important. Where leaning on what he just said, I think when you put all those together, they are part of the things that attract a man. When you see a woman she knows what she's doing, she's driven, she's a career woman, in quotes, if that's what is appealing to you as a guy, you want to converse with this person. And when you ask questions, you can see that she has something to offer, not just the physical look.
Yeah.
Some people pay so much attention to how they look, and they forget to pay attention the content. The container is good, but the content is not there. For some men, they can be attracted to the look, but for you to sustain that attraction, for you to keep engaging with them at the same level, something you need to offer something. And that thing you need to offer is not a one-off thing. It's not something you offered last year that you offered this year. It has to be consistent. That is why it is important for everyone to engage in constant self-development. Because the more you grow, you grow together, I would say. That's if you're married. The more you grow, it gives you the opportunity, or it creates a higher level of sustenance within the context of your marriage, sustaining the interests of your significant other. And then even for a single lady, someone seeing you 5 years ago should see that you've evolved. You're not where you used to be. And if you are thinking of attracting the kind of men that you want, the kind of men that is appealing to you, you need to step up to stay at that level where they too can find you attractive. This is why, yes, within religious circle, the emphasis is more on character. The emphasis is not as much on competence as it is on character. But obviously, a lot of people are going for both character and competence. What would make your character appealing before we get to that point of settling down to see how wonderful your character is? We need to see your competence. And that's what keeps the interest. If I go into the next point, which is character, it is really, really important. Character in the sense that no man wants to get married to a woman that will be disrespectful to him, to his friends, to his network. In fact, if you're marked as someone who is disrespectful, you will lose the interest of your man. Your beauty will no longer matter. Your intelligence, your competence will not really matter that much, because at that point, what the man is seeing is how, I wouldn't want to use obnoxious, how negative your attitude and your outlook is, the way you present yourself, the way you relate with people. So, and these are things you can develop. You can learn how to be respectful, even if you've grown in an environment that you've been conditioned to relate to people in certain ways. You have to develop what we call growth mindset. Absolutely. Which gives you the flexibility to learn the things that you need to learn to become the best version of you, in order to, have the best relationship that you need to have.
That's true. I kind of agree with you, because sometimes we are all coming from different backgrounds before we get into a relationship with somebody. And you don't know what's, because everything, like I said before, is colored by your view, is colored by your system, the system you've been embedded in. And some things might not have been flagged up as, this is not nice, this is not good, this is not a way to talk, this is not a way to resolve conflicts, this is not a way to disagree with people, because there's a way to disagree with people. And a lot of times people are very very forefront, very confrontational. There's a way, there's a system to disagree with people without being chaotic or making a scene. So it could be that, from the system where you have been embedded, they are used to a certain way in terms of resolving conflict, or a certain way of expressing themselves. And what you said is very critical, in the sense that you need to be open-minded. You need to come into a relationship saying, okay, this also presents me with an opportunity to learn something, to be a better person, because that is why we're in a relationship, right? You rub off on each other. So I draw from your strength, and minimizing my weakness, and vice versa. So really, really important that we are aware. And because a lot of times people are not even self-aware of their weaknesses. they're not self-aware of their character flaws.
I think the reason people are not self-aware is because they've not made up their minds to be open to, will I use the word criticism, positive criticism? Because if you really, really want to know who you are, don't just look at yourself from personal reflection of your behavior, your attitude, because most times we want to present ourselves as the best version of ourselves. But if you are open to say, oh, can you please tell me, what is it that you think I'm not doing well? What is it that you think I can do better? And you're open and ready to listen. For instance, you and I could ask you, honey, we've lived together for many years. What is it that you think about me that you don't like? And I'm happy to receive that criticism. It means I have a growth mindset because I want to learn from you in terms of what I'm not doing right to do better going forward.
Yeah, this is really critical. So it is one thing in a relationship to say, look, give me some feedback. Like,
yes.
Tell me how I'm doing, right? And it's another thing for you to be able to receive, because I've seen instances where you're asking for feedback and then
you're defensive.
Yeah, it is served to you on the platter, and then you're like defending. No, but when I did that was when you did this and all of that. But it's all about you being open, right? Let me just take some comments on the chat because really, really important. One of the things Foundation for Family Affairs was saying, just echoing what you said around character and competence are both relevant, very relevant. So you can't just depend on character. Say, oh, I'm a good girl. I was raised in a good home. I was told how to cook and all of that. Well, yes, but you might be married to a man that has been embedded in a different environment, and you really need to get your skills going. You need to really learn something to be able to make yourself better and bring value in a different way to your relationship. And sometimes it's not even convenient, right? But that is what life is about, right? Learning, unlearning, relearning, really, really important. And I've got another important comment here around no dramas, discuss all and agree or disagree with love and respect. I love that comment. I love that comment. Like, it is really important that when you think about, and that's what we're talking about, being intentional, because sometimes people don't really spend time to process what they want to say to the other person. Because if you were able to process this and say, oh, if someone were to say this, or if my husband were to say this to me, the way I am thinking about serving him, that, will it be something I would be willing to receive, And it's always very important because sometimes, we have different personalities, and, you can tell that me, I could be a bit, out there and, very buzzing and all of that. And sometimes, my husband, initially, when he would upset me, right, you're like, oh, I'm going to tell you as I feel. I'm going to give it to you just exactly the way I'm receiving the emotions, or the way my heart is kind of pumping. I'm not happy about this. And then you dish that, I, at the time, would dish that out to him, right? And it only took me a while to understand that, look, if you love this individual the way you profess that you love him, you should be mindful about the use and the choice of words. Really, really important. And that was something that I found that was so critical for my husband. Like, he's a man of words. Like, you could do anything, but when you speak, it's difficult for him to, not that he doesn't let go, but the way it affects him is kind of very different. And it is still down to understanding the other person. Sometimes some people will say, give me some space, right? So it is really important that when you're not disagreeing, you kind of put in place how you go about that whole process. I think that is really important.
Yeah, all you've been saying is about conflict management.
Yeah, conflict.
Which means everyone, mostly men, you want a peaceful home. You finish the work for the day, you're going home happy, to be in a happy environment with your spouse, with your family. And if that's not happening, you see men running away from home, getting too busy because they want to avoid that environment that upsets them.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would say this to you, that Once a man finds out that this is a woman has that propensity to be a disruptor, disruptor in a negative way, where you come in and everyone is running, the person has a tendency to withdraw.
Yeah.
It's not attractive. People are motivated by pleasure and pain. So if you give them pain, emotional pain, even before the relationship is taken to the next level, they will withdraw. But if they find pleasure in being around you,
yeah,
pleasure in talking with you, they can speak with you on the phone. You see, this is one of the things I loved about you before we got married. You could talk on phone for hours. You know, it's not now that you have social media where you spend nights talking because you enjoy speaking with this person. Okay, and even now we can talk for long. You're not bored.
Yeah,
because there is this pleasure that comes from being with this person. This is why I say to you, for men, love and attraction is key. For women, love and affection. You want someone that will care for you, be affectionate, and all of. For us, love and attraction. And what attracts us, what sustains that attraction is how you make us feel.
Yeah.
Do we feel good in your presence? Do we feel peaceful? You know, but this is why you can also see some women, they've not like they don't have good character, so to speak, but there are elements of their total package that is not attractive to the man. And you're wondering, why is it that I cannot sustain a relationship? Why is it that I've stayed 30 years, 35, no man, men will come, they will go. There is something about you that is not spiritual. There is something you're not doing right. Okay? So you have to relearn and have that open conversation. Maybe you meet someone that will open things up for you to see your blind spots.
That's true.
So that you can make the best of the opportunities you have in terms of connecting and relating with the right kind of guy.
Yeah, amazing.
Yep.
I just see some comments, but it's just basically echoing what you said or what I said around words and why it is important to choose our words wisely. So thank you so much, Foundation for Family. I don't know if there are any other things that you might want to share.
There are so many things I want to share.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to share is that men want women who are emotionally stable and mature. We don't want to become a father to a wife or to a woman. That responsibility, you don't expect, okay, fine, you lived in an environment where your dad pampers you, does everything for you, you're crying and all of those, you have a father that will do all of those. But a man doesn't want a baby as a wife. You don't want someone that will be emotionally dependent on you. When I say emotional dependence, I mean she's not happy. She's not
mood
swings. Today she's not talking. What's the problem? I don't know. Tomorrow so that emotional instability can upset a man. And once a woman who is mature in handling the affairs of the home, mature in dealing with finance, not someone who is spontaneous. You want to buy everything. Shopping, you want to spend all the money and all of those. I don't want to go into details. So we want a woman who is mature emotionally, mature spiritually as well.
Well, let me also talk about the emotional, because some people don't know how to process challenges. It's really important, because if you're getting into a relationship, you should anticipate. I don't know if that is something positive, but that is life. You should anticipate challenges. And be prepared to embrace them. Because one thing I've noticed is that a lot of times when relationships break down, they start off with a crack in a problem, right? And you find that so many people don't know how to, or women sometimes don't know how to process that. So they are like looking up to the man to be able to provide instant solution.
That's a different thing.
Do something quickly.
Yeah.
But I think also that in itself is a very big emotional burden to place on the man.
Yeah, but a man is supposed to provide emotional support.
I do understand.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say in this instance, when you're faced with a challenge, right? It's not just you the woman that is faced with the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It is
both of you.
We faced with the
Yes.
challenge. So I think the approach around having a team mentality in terms of approaching solving or resolving, whatever that challenge is, rather than you have to fix it. And that is why we also, as women, we need to build capacity. We need to build that sort of emotional stability. And this doesn't just come easily, because we a lot of times don't even know how we're going to act when we're faced with, life challenges.
Yeah.
But it's about building that mindset and recognizing and understanding that this is a relationship, and I really would want to bring value in terms of alleviating, or to some extent taking out the pressure or the burden to some extent, and we're working it together.
This is, I quite agree with you, because obviously the emotional maturity also means that you're able to bring encouragement to your spouse, such that when things are rough, not just for you, for the man, you can be the one that will say, don't worry, we can deal with it.
Yeah.
We can handle it. You find a way to be a solution, and not to compound the problem by blame game, but by different ways you can, escalate the issue. I think emotional maturity is key, is really important. Emotional maturity also links to how you manage conflict.
Yeah.
To know how to manage anger. When you're not feeling happy, do you throw tantrum like a child? Are you aggressive? Do you scatter things, if I will use that? And emotional maturity also means that you know how to manage the emotional state of your spouse when he's not happy, when he's going through, when there is an issue. How do you respond? If he's the one that is shouting, everyone is shouting, then the house is on fire.
That's true.
In my local dialect, they say you don't have two mad men in the same house.
That's
so
true.
One person should be sane, And moving away from emotional maturity, let's look at spiritual maturity.
Yeah, but before you go on, let me just quickly highlight some of the things on the chat. So how is it that work situation seems to be less dramatic, and everyone complies and adheres to protocol, policies, and proceed? Okay, I see what she's saying. Like in the workplace, there is like a system in place. There are policies, procedure. Everyone knows, work your lane.
You're not happy.
Exactly, work your lane, and you have to. They have all of these banners around, making sure that you are aware how you talk to a member of staff. Even as a customer, you are aware that there is a boundary that you can cross. But then she went on to say, we are there most of our waking hours and productive ages. Yes. And then she went on to give another point around, but when couples are, oh goodness me, I'm not able to highlight that. Okay, I'll use the traditional one. She said, but some couples struggle to agree on basic stuff. I guess you take a walk to another job if unable to cope.
Yeah, my understanding of that is that when it comes to work environment, we are our best version.
Yeah.
We follow protocols. We know how to.
We put our best foot forward.
We know how to resolve issues.
Yes.
We don't shout and scream and destroy the whole place.
Yep.
But when it comes to home, it's about mindset.
I think so.
Because we think within the home environment, there are no consequences of certain actions. The worst case scenario is he feels bad or she feels bad.
And I think it's just a case of familiarity as well.
Familiarity,
that person.
No consequence. Because obviously, if there are no consequences to how people react within the work environment, some people would take it out there.
Yeah.
But they know if you don't keep your cool, you're going to lose the job. And when you have that report on your record, getting another job is a problem.
True.
Which is why I said pain and pleasure.
Yeah, true.
True. Well, let's leave it at that.
Yeah. Let me also highlight another comment that she put there, just a follow-up comment. She talked about marriage is for adults, not for children. That throws, tantrums and every little time, etc. All should grow up in marriage and do marriage or don't go into it.
Exactly.
And I agree with this. I do agree, because and again, maybe from our own cultural setting, that it's an expectation for people to get married, even when they know they're not ready. They're not ready to be married, but people grow up, especially for young ladies, you grow up, you get to a certain stage, you've gone to, you've done your first degree. What are you waiting for? Get married. You don't want a man who would be, who will not be attracted to you because he feels challenged because you've got a better job or whatever. And you get all of this sort of pressure. And sometimes it puts people under undue pressure. Let me also highlight this point by Foundation for Family Affairs around the emotional state of the couple determines the emotional atmosphere in the relationship. It could be an attraction or a turn off.
Yes.
And most times, let me add to this. A lot of times, women actually set the tone in the home.
Obviously.
And I'm just saying that.
I agree
why
with
are you agreeing with that?
Because it links to what I said before.
Yes.
I said no man wants to go home to an environment where you don't find peace at home.
Yes.
Home is where for a man, I'm
Yes.
saying for a man, maybe if we're talking for women, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
For a man, home is where you find peace, you find love, you find
you just come
rest.
back and distress, or what do they call it now?
You're just running home because home is your
safe place. Yeah.
So if we've turned the home to an unsafe place, a place where when you go home, you're going to struggle with mental health issues.
Sure.
Then people start running away from home. Even when they are home, they are not at home.
That's true. Mentally.
They are not at home emotionally. They are only their physical presence is there, but their mind is somewhere else. You see men watching all the games, looking at their phones, connecting with people on social media while at home. They are not involved in connecting with the wife. And the wife is wondering, you're here, what's the matter? Because he feels if I open that space, we will start having unnecessary issues that would weigh on my emotion, my mental well-being, and all of those. So I am using this as an opportunity to give an advice to any woman who wants to have a beautiful home. You want to get the best from your husband.
Yeah.
Create that safe
space,
emotional and
I think it will not just do the man a lot of good. It will also do you a lot of good because nobody likes a chaotic space. And thank you, Dr. Beryl, for joining. It's amazing to see you here, and also Dozie, great to see you here. One thing that Dr. Beryl has also put on the chat is if you don't marry, the African society will not give you rest. They're on your matter, they're on your case.
Yeah.
They're like, why is this person not married? There must be something wrong. Let's go fishing, let's go praying, let's do something. And that's why a lot of people are pressured. I do agree with that. Let me also highlight another comment here. She says, young men really need training in the course of life about how to love women and manage home affairs.
Yeah, the reason I'm just making more emphasis on the men part of it is because we are looking at what men want.
Yeah, I think she's right because she says there's been a lot of emphasis on women, and it's a two-way street.
Really. I agree with you. So I'm not doing the balance thing today because I'm pushing the men's agenda. I'm pushing for the men. This is what we want.
Okay.
And when you guys push your agenda, we'll be open to receive what you're saying.
Sure,
okay,
we're coming.
You're coming.
We're coming. Yes. And Bolale says the emotional state of the home is everybody's responsibility.
Oh, I know.
That is amazing. There, everybody. It's true because I did say it's a woman, so we don't put a lot of burden on ourselves.
Okay, you put it on the women.
We're like,
but it's not just the women. It's everyone's responsibility because obviously
we all have a part to play.
Obviously, if I don't treat my wife well, there is no way you have that emotional state, that mind to create that environment. So it's a two-way thing. If I love you well, then I should expect the atmosphere of love within the environment, within the home.
It's a given.
Okay, it's a given. It is what we need to do. And if you want me to proceed on, I actually wanted to talk about what happens when we get into the marriage. We've been attracted to you because we feel we love you. We feel you love us as well. We feel you have all the good character, you have the competence, and everything's going to work well. And we step into the marriage, this idea, this ideal thing that we have in mind in terms of what we're looking for in a wife, it's not there. Maybe you razzled me with your,
with my looks
exuberance, your personality, your looks.
And then I caught you.
And you showed me all the good character that I was actually looking for. And now we are married 1 year, 2 years, and I'm seeing something completely opposite.
And this is where people feel like, oh my God, I'm in a trap.
What did I do?
I'm in a trap. I'm trapped here. I want to get out of this relationship. I don't know.
This is not what I prayed for.
This is not what I really
This is what I bargained for. What do I do? Yep. I think for most men, it happens in 2 ways. Number one, they might decide if they want to stay in that marriage the way it is, they might become very reserved. They build a cocoon around themselves. They build a wall around themselves. They create their own cave. Men will say man cave. They create their own emotional cave. They create their own mental cave, where a space where they run to and find solace.
Yeah.
And they block the woman from accessing them because they don't want to be vulnerable.
That's true.
They try to protect their emotion, protect their mind, and build compartments. So the woman is wondering, why are we not communicating? Why are you not open to me? The man has locked up.
Yeah.
So he's just there fulfilling his obligation as a husband, maybe give you money, do all the things he needs to do, but his mind is not there.
He's not invested in the relationship anymore.
You've lost him. Because what he came into the relationship expecting
it's
not there.
Yeah.
But it's not a final bus stop. It's not the end of the world. If the woman can understand that this is the problem and reinvent herself.
Yeah.
Try to, find a way to become what he wants. It's not necessarily that he's looking for a perfect person. But if I get married to you as my wife, on the premise that you're a faithful person, a respectful person, and all of those, and I come to realize that the drive you had before we got married, now you're not driven anymore.
Yeah.
And I can't trust your words. You say A, your A is B. That creates that disconnect. So if you decide to, you know what, I'm going to move on. I'll be the best version of me. I'm going to be truthful to this man. I have to be faithful. Once that happens, you win him back again.
Yeah, but I also want to add here that it is good for you to communicate that. So if your expectations are not where you think, okay, I went to the shop, I bought something.
Don't use that analogy.
Oh, well, I'm just using, like, for example, okay, let me not use that analogy, but for example, what you ordered for versus what you received, totally different, right? It is really important that you communicate that and explain, and don't just shut down, because sometimes, they may not even know. Maybe that's the best they could offer as women. So it is really important that you're able to sort of communicate that to her, for her to understand that this is really important. And this sort of, do you want to say
No, I actually want to say that this is also why it is better to be authentic before you get married. Don't pretend to be who you're not because you want to attract a man.
Yeah.
If that man is not happy with what he's seeing now, it's up to him to decide, because he needs to be committed to you for who you are.
That's true.
It doesn't mean if you're not the best version of you, you're not going to work on yourself to be better.
Absolutely.
But let him know that this is me. And that's what I like about you. From day one, there was no pretense about it. You were yourself.
Okay.
Yes. You don't want to talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Don't make it about me. Okay, let's speak out some of the comments. So one of the things that Bolali has put on the chat is the day communication ends is a lock up by either is the beginning of the end of the marriage. Guess what? Both can build this imaginary cocoon.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yes, a woman can get into that space as well.
Because once a man builds that cocoon,
the
woman feels well.
She tries, and then
what's the need for me? Nothing.
She just gets on with it.
Let's move on.
Yes, let all the cocoons now.
And they can just be there because of their children.
Yeah, they'll have a reason to stay in the relationship, which is not healthy.
And sometimes people stay because of society, because of culture, because of religion. So I don't want to have that tag, a divorcee.
Yeah. What will people think?
What will people think? What will people say? how do I change myself? Just stay in it,
Yep.
just for staying in it.
Yep. And Dr. Berry has just put something as well on the chat. She says couple need to be taught how and the values of communication. Really important. Women can share how they feel, and men must share too.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree as well, but I'm just stating the case in terms of how men try to deal with such issues.
Yes, we'll get to the women bit in a point, but that is a very, very good, it's a salient point she's put there. Or else, how will she know all parties involved in marriage? Yeah, including the woman. And Bolale has come back saying building a cocoon is already unfaithfulness in marriage, as two are no longer one, and vulnerability to another is key in marriage. She's just
so for the men out there who have built a cocoon, can you still try and break it down a bit and engage in that communication with your spouse? Because obviously that's the best way to deal. Yes, she's not there. What you looked out for, you can't find it anymore. Yep. But there is a way to work together as a team to get the best version of your marriage. You get the best version of each other, I would say.
Yeah, that is amazing. I don't know if you have something else to add before I'm just looking at the time.
It runs so fast because obviously there are so many things we want as men. We want a woman who would satisfy us. We want a woman who would make contributions.
You wonder why I'm laughing, right?
A cave thing. We want a woman who is not coming to take and take and take. We also want a woman who is coming to give. Is a teamwork thing. It's not just the man doing all the work. We work together as a team. We also want a woman, who would love us for who we are.
True.
Okay. Don't expect that we'll deal with you or treat you the way Mr. A or Mr. B is treating his wife. We are all different. We want a woman, who would be there, who we can actually invest in.
Sure.
Someone who will love with all our hearts. And then we also want a woman who would keep on looking good, who keep on being healthy, okay? Because if the health is not there, the marriage is not going to work. So as much as you're building your capacity, build your physical capacity as well. Because, men, we tend to like what we see.
Yep.
So please keep looking good so that we keep seeing the best physical version of you. I know you're giving me signs.
Yeah, I am. I'm giving you a sign because some of these things you've also listed, the responsibility is both ways. I must say that.
I agree with you.
We'll get to that
but
point.
I'm making a case for the men today. So a woman out there listening to me, have a conversation with your husband to know what exactly do you want from me.
True.
Yes.
True. Really important. Very critical conversation. And there's something Foundation for Family Affairs said, at the back of what you were saying earlier. Breaking the cocoon. It says get out of your man cave. Really important. Really important. And let me just highlight Dr. Berry's comments around. I think it's okay to have a man cave. It's okay. Yeah, it's an escape. And even for women,
women cave.
to go there. No, we don't have women cave.
Okay.
There's always man cave. I don't know where you're getting that from. Okay, but the partner needs to have a key
to the cave.
Yes.
Like you have a key to my cave.
I don't know if you have a cave because we're here together. So you don't go in there and lock yourself out and lock everybody out. She can enter sometimes and still let him be him. Yeah. So it's good that accessibility is critical. Really important. And she said something in short. Proverbs 31 woman, good vibes.
Yes, that's all.
I think Dr. Berry is reacted to say, where is the Proverbs 31 man?
Maybe you guys will answer that question when we come for the
really
version
important.
Of what do women want in a man.
Yes. Really important. And we want to say, thank you. If you guys are not here, we'll be talking to ourselves.
Yes.
Right? We'll be talking to ourselves and
having a laugh.
having a laugh without anybody seeing us. But it's great to have you guys join us today. And it's amazing the feedback and the comments on the chats. Really, really appreciates that. Because this is what we live for. Beryl made a point earlier around making sure that people get educated. And that's why we are here. That's why we're having this sort of conversation. And we hope more people would engage and more people would join into this conversation. Yes, and please, if you feel this would be of value to anybody, kindly share this, the link with other people so they can glean value from what we have put forward, right? And we want to say thank you. We said it's 1 hour, and 1 hour it is. And until the next time, it's goodbye from us. Yes, we had an amazing time as well. We had an amazing time. So thank you all for joining in today. Take care of yourself and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.